Alright everybody, welcome to the first episode of Retrocast. I am Trent Johnson. With me today I have the one and only King Nova Prime himself, Justin Jennings.
You say that like I'm well known across the internetverse.
Oh yeah, he's the most famous internet star, you know. PewDiePie, Markiplier, Rhett and Link.
Back in my Marvel Hero days.
I don't care about PewDiePie.
Where I actually got 45 views.
Yeah, 45 views. Internet famous. And, of course, as always, my lovely wife, Andy.
Hi guys.
Of course, we already mentioned Justin's YouTube handle. He's King Nova Prime. I am also Flam.
Also Johnny Depp.
Andy is All a Disco. Also, we're in the band Ink Mind. Please look us up. We're pathetic and desperate. Okay, anyways. This is the first
shameless self-promotion!
Enough of that shameless self-promotion. The first minute out of the way. Today we are going to talk about the movies. And we literally just got back from a movie that we had an interesting discussion about outside. Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Basically Pirates 5. Let's get it off with first thoughts. Andy, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I liked it. Like, it wasn't the worst thing that they could have come out with. I mean, it definitely wasn't the best by any means. It was a little slow to start and kind of rushed in the middle, and, I mean, a kind of cliche ending, I guess, it would be the best way to put it, but...
Yeah, I would definitely agree with cliche.
All in all, it was a nice little movie.
All right, Justin, what are your thoughts after the movie?
Pirates.
Just pirates?
We came home to people looting our place.
Actually, yeah, I'll tell that story in a second, but that's the only thought you have, Justin?
No, I kind of got upset because I felt like the pirates should have been slightly smarter than what they were. Like, did they not have even, like, the slightest education whatsoever?
No, that was the whole thing about pirates. Even historically, like, that was the reason that they were pirates.
Well, my whole thing is, I guess that's historically like pirates, but after 5 movies, we've actually seen a lot of these pirates in movies before. So, I feel like they should have a little bit more knowledge about some of these things. Especially when fighting the dead pirates, when 4 of these movies have been about fighting undead pirates. And
yeah, I guess that's
true.
true.
You figured they'd be unfazed by now. Like, oh, it's more undead pirates.
Barbossa's scared of an undead pirate, and he was an undead pirate for, 20-something years himself.
But it's still, like, again with this crap? Really, guys?
Okay, so, but, going back to the originals topic, the general consensus we have between you two is the movie's good, and I talked about it before we started recording. I enjoyed the movie, but, I'm a CinemaSins... That's a cool show, by the way. CinemaSins just guy, and I'll sit there and just point out plot holes, and Andy cannot stand it.
No, because you dismantle everything and make it not fun.
No, not fun for you. I tend to overanalyze, and it's part of my ADD. I just stare at something and then zone out, and then come back and look at it later a billion more times. It's like ADD combined with OCD. But it's annoying. It really is. It's been my life. So yeah, my thoughts on it, as opposed to yours, I really did like it, but as I was in the theater with you, I actually looked at you at one point and said, when is this movie going to freaking start? Because we were like an hour and a half into it, and they had not done anything.
I knew you had said something, I just didn't know what exactly it was
I
that you had said.
I didn't want to be obnoxious, because I also have to preface this. We have been to the movies, what was this? This is the 5th time we've been in a while, and the first 4 times before this... Granted, we've been in the movies thousands of times, but last 4 times before this, in a row, the movie had just messed up. Like, had not started, the audio cut out,
or the video cut out. My personal favorite was not connected to these, but it still was one of the ones that pissed me off the most. Was we went to see Kick-Ass 2 when it came out a few years ago, and the movie audio cut off and started playing a different movie. What?
Yeah.
I've done that before.
They actually had to come back and rewind the movie, and it set all the movie times off for the rest of that day.
Yeah. Well, considering that both Justin and I used to work at the movie theater...
I tried. They wouldn't hire me.
I actually worked in the concession stand. Or not the concession stand. Wow, why did I say concessions?
Well, you did
the projection room.
That's actually when I first met you, was in the concession stand.
Yeah, it was in the projection room when they actually had 35mm film. And I actually accidentally spliced 2 movies together that weren't supposed to be together. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, but was it yesterday, before today, me and Andy actually went to go see Wonder Woman. And the movie did not start, but the audio did. And fortunately, it was just the trailers. And it was a trailer that sounded really interesting. It was
sounded.
What was the name of that movie?
Oh,
Atomic Blonde. That was the
yeah,
name of it.
yeah.
And it starred, I think, Charlize Theron and James McAvoy, and like
Mhm.
this. And I'm sitting there like, this sounds like it'd be cool.
Yeah. Don't
And,
shoot!
like,
I have to shoot!
And like the dude behind us, he's cackling at just the sounds.
Yeah.
And this dude was kind of weird. Anyways, he was kind of messing with the whole movie throughout the thing because he fell asleep and was just snoring obnoxiously. But that's not the point. So when it started coming out, they restarted the trailers and it set the movie off by a few minutes, but not real bad. Because, there's no end credit scene in Wonder Woman.
Right.
Spoilers, by the way.
Just in case you didn't know.
I'm not going to give too much of the plot away, but
It's really good.
it's really good, and we'll probably talk about Wonder Woman later on in this episode. So if you haven't clicked off by now, I'm sorry.
Have more confidence in the sound of your voice.
The sound of my voice. I actually did briefly work on radio, so if you think I'm bad here, you should have heard me back then. Okay, so, but getting back to Pirates of the Caribbean, let's talk about some of the flaws. Now, the big flaw that we have mentioned already is the fact that the pacing of that movie is just downright atrocious. Yeah, atrocious. I can't talk today. I'm sorry, guys. The pacing in that movie is atrocious because it takes it forever to start.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of plot holes that we can sit here and point out, but it's become a recurring problem in movies and TV. I've noticed that pacing has become more and more of a problem and just thrown out the window left and right.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's just me, but I want to know if you guys feel the same way.
I haven't watched TV lately, so I've been all in YouTube's butthole. But but as far as
God.
I mean, yeah, but I think it has everything to do with the fact that no one has the attention span that they used to have anymore. So it's like, oh yeah, like for instance, I bought us fidget spinners. We could literally stare at those things for days, and if we had one in front of us right now, we'd be spinning.
Yeah, I would literally just be sitting here flicking that thing.
But I think
background.
because of the fact our minds crave some kind of stimulus all the
Yeah.
time, I think that's why the pacings of everything is shortened slowly.
Well, it's actually very well reflected in children's shows. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Because it's actually something that really upsets me. Is a lot of kids shows today don't have plots. And I remember a lot of the ones that I watched, it was a very, contrived child show plot, like G.I. Joe, Transformers. I was a big Pokemon fan, big Dragon Ball Z fan. But they all had a very clear plot, as stupid as they could be.
Right.
Ash Ketchum loses every fight, but somehow he's still the main character.
Yeah.
He's the worst in the world at what he does, but we love him for it.
Right.
And, we all get older and wish Misty was, more adult. But that's beside the point. But it had a very clear plot, and another one I remember was like Shaolin Showdown. It was goofy and was a, villain of the week kind of show.
Right.
So was Power Rangers, but they had a plot. And then, I watched, let's say the Amazing World of Gumball. Now, I will say, I actually do really enjoy that show. As stupid as it can be. But I do really enjoy it. But there's no plot to that show. I mean, occasionally it will bring up stuff from past episodes, but in the show's nature, it's just random.
Right.
And regular show suffered from this, Adventure Time, and you even have an adult stuff like Robot Chicken. It's just, random comedy.
Robot Chicken was kind of one of the first ones to do it, too.
And I think Robot Chicken kind of gets away with it because it's meant to be messed up TV.
Yeah.
But
hate it with
it started out as just a random joke, and then it became 15-minute runtimes for the thing.
Yeah.
And shows that we wanted to be serious shows just became more and more
nonsensical.
Like the big thing among people our age is what they did to Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And anyone who probably listened to this podcast can probably agree with me that the first Teen Titans show was stupid, but it was a great show.
And it followed.
And we followed it. And to this day, I watch it. I know you still watch it if it comes on, if you see me watching it, because I'll watch cartoons till, cows come home. And then, of course, there was the follow-up show that was not connected, but it was still a good show, Young Justice.
Yeah.
I love that show, and they're actually going to make a third season, so woohoo. Woohoo! But then there's Teen Titans Go. Now, Teen Titans Go has some really funny jokes. It does. Because it's self-referential humor about how bad the show is. And it's thrown in there for people who like the other show, and obviously, I guess kids must love this show, but the show itself is just bad.
Yeah.
And you feel like it kind of bastardized, in a way, your childhood.
No, it absolutely did. Because it's based on nothing but slapstick and potty humor. And that can only carry you so far. Like, after 2 episodes, it gets boring as crap. Like, please stop. This is physically painful to sit through.
Exactly. And relating this back to the movie we're actually supposed to be talking about, so my big problem with the movie, besides the pacing, is that they tried really hard to sum it all up and just kind of shoehorn in stuff that really needed more time. And I won't give away plot points, because if you want to go see the movie, because I really hope they make another one to kind of fix some of the problems.
Yeah.
But
I don't know that they can at this point, though.
But the way this movie ended, you're right. I don't know if they can, because the idea of this movie was to just tie a big bow on the original trilogy, pretend the 4th movie didn't really happen, and just say, hey, Pirates is done, Johnny Depp doesn't want to be here anymore.
I really hope they don't do that to Star Wars.
I mean, it's very evident through the acting that little acting he does throughout the movie.
I think, as I said earlier, it reminded me a lot of Indiana Jones 4, actually.
Yeah. Crystal Skull.
And that was one of those movies that it's an enjoyable movie. It really is, but there's a lot wrong with that movie.
Yeah.
And, if you go on the internet, you see people hate on that movie left and right. Mm-hmm. But, when it came out, we all enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We grew to hate it later. It's just like what I say about the Star Wars prequels, love them or hate them. People nowadays say they're a bad movie, but if we go back to, like, reviews of when those movies first came out, people's like, they're the greatest things of all time.
Right.
I mean, give Force Awakens 10 more years from now, people are going to just crap all over that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And, now, I personally do not like The Force Awakens, and I've made that abundantly clear in conversations with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not like Rogue One, but it's not because I'm a stickler for the old movies, it's just something about the way they're written is just too Star Trek for me.
Did you actually watch Rogue One?
Yeah, it's actually on our Amazon server.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to watch it, I don't think.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I let my dad buy movies on Amazon and I watch his movies. But that's beside the point.
Looks like someone else here's a pirate. Insert laugh track.
I'm not doing that. Anyway, I might. I don't know. I'll decide later. Hey, if you're going to do it now. No, don't do it. Okay, anyways. Back on point, though. The problem is, in a lot of these movies that are continuations of a series, I feel like they're trying to take a new tone as they get new directors. And Pirates kind of did that. Like, if you look at Pirates 1 is a very kind of by-the-book action-adventure film, a lot like Mask of Zorro, or... what's another good example? Let's just use Raiders. They're very by-the-book, and they're very unique in their way because... good action movie. Mm-hmm. And there were plenty of other movies that came out and tried to be the new Pirates of the Caribbean. One of them was the Three Musketeers movie, and that was horrible. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, ironically, Orlando Bloom is in that one too.
Yeah.
And I think it's on Netflix right now. It's Three Musketeers. It has Orlando Bloom, Logan Lerman. Go watch it, and if you think that movie's good,
didn't that have
God bless you.
Luke Evans?
Yeah, Luke Evans is in it too. And Clive Owen, I believe, is in it. So
I still don't think I've watched that movie all the way through, and if I have, it's like that's
the movie.
Telling you
the
how.
movie is really boring, and it was really hard for me to watch, and it really upset me because these are actors I really like. Like I really like Luke Evans. Like whether you love it or hate it, Dracula Untold, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom. Okay, he can be kind of a douche in some roles, but he's a good actor. I mean, Legolas.
Yeah.
Legolas.
Yeah.
Will Turner, except for in the new movie, is
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Spoilers. He sucks.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Well, he's only in there for like 2 scenes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But spoilers on that, guys. I'm gonna have to put a spoiler warning on the title of this. But so. I don't think it's that just because you put an actor that people like, it's going to be good. And there are some movies that I want to believe are good, whether I don't like the idea of them, too. Mm-hmm. The big one that's out right now, The Mummy.
Oh, God.
And I have yet to see it, so I can't say much, but I hate Tom Cruise. But I love Mission Impossible, and I know that makes no sense. I like Mission Impossible for the way that they're made. Each one is like a different kind of movie. And they do the tropes very well. And of course, when Simon Pegg gets in the series, Simon Pegg is hilarious. Yeah. And I'll watch just about anything with him in it, even if it sucks, just because he's funny. Yeah. Especially like when he's Scotty in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that brings me to another question. Just because I'm jumping through all this because my ADD does not allow me to focus on a lot of this all at one time. But speaking of movies, we all have that one actor or actress that we will watch anything they do. So, starting with Justin this time, give me an actor that no matter how bad or stupid the movie is, you will watch it.
I'm going to let you guess who this actor is.
All right. Gotta give me some clues, man.
Shoot a thrill. Play the... No, I'm just kidding. It's Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I feel the exact same way. Robert Downey Jr. is like if I were gay, I would just go stare at Robert Downey Jr. all day long. If I were straight, I'd do the same thing. I still do.
I wouldn't stare.
The way I just said that was so confusing.
I'd just straight up grab him and be like, yeah, this happened.
Hey, he's a beautiful man. Anyways.
Yeah, well, there's that one movie. What was that movie even called?
Okay, so...
Zero.
No,
it was
that
with
one.
the two chicks.
Okay, so, story about Robert Downey Jr. I've never met the man. No.
Oh, go figure. Huh.
So we were on Netflix, and I was looking for... I was trying to watch Chaplin again, because I really like his movie Chaplin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was brilliant in Chaplin.
And I was actually... I don't remember the name of it, but there's one where it's... he's a genius kid who gets addicted to cocaine, ruins his life. I was trying to find that one. And I
I think that's the one I'm talking about. I forget, Zero something, from what I understand.
It's not that one. This one was about... I forgot the name. I think it's two girls and a guy, or...
Yeah, I think you're right.
It had a really contrived name, and the movie, the way it's shot, is interesting. That's the most interesting thing about this movie.
Well, to be honest, it's shot like it's supposed to be a screenplay.
It's like a very continuous one-act play.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how it's shot because they only cut twice in this movie from what you see. And that's kind of cool in a way because you don't see that a lot in movies.
But
I think Birdman was another one that did that, but that's beside the point. But the movie itself...
The plot. Can I...
Yeah, I'll let you get this.
The plot is literally two girls are dating the same guy. They both show up at his loft apartment and shoo him out because they realize he's been cheating on both of them for however long.
I think it's 6 months or
6 months, yeah, something like that. And so they have this big long conversation, they get drunk, they confront him, and then they both end up sleeping with him by the end of the night, still.
Now, okay, so here's the thing about that with me is, I could actually see with the way they play the kind of free to be me, you, and girl in that movie. I could see her still sleeping with him. Now, the younger one, what gets me and makes me angry in this movie is she literally walks up to him at one point, you could have what you want if you would just ask for it. You could have us both.
Oh, well.
And, he ends up turning it down because he's creeped out by it, and he keeps the other one. But the movie ends, I think his mom dies or something, and the way it's shot makes no sense because all this argument and contrived anger is happening while he's just kind of knocking around, and he doesn't do anything to get mad at him. He even fake shoots himself at one point.
It's so stupid. It is totally pointless.
And, the bad thing is the movie is incredibly well acted. You can tell... Robert Downey Jr. It's not Rose McGowan. It's the girl who's in The Hangover, who's in everything. But I can never remember her name, and I don't remember the other one. But you could tell they're really invested in the characters they're playing. But the movie itself is just bad. But anyways,
I got so angry. I had to physically walk out of the room.
But see, it's Robert Downey Jr.
Awful.
So going back to the original question, it's Robert Downey Jr. I watched it just because it was Robert Downey Jr.
I know you did.
And I was mad because of the movie.
And I was mad at you because you watched that movie.
It was just so bad. But, yeah, so, I'll watch a bad movie, but then I'll watch a movie of his that I think is a good movie that people don't like, but I think they should, The Judge. I love that movie.
Yes, that movie is awesome.
We went to see that one. That was a great movie. Good. I think he should have won an Oscar for that, but people think, you're not a film critic. Well, Doug isn't one either, but he's the nostalgia critic. Anyways, okay, so back to the original question. Andy, what is an actor or actress that no matter how stupid they are, I know for you, and I'm going to just take a stab in the dark, is it Daniel Radcliffe?
It's pretty much any of the Harry Potter cast.
Because I have watched some just downright bad Rupert Grint movies with you.
Yes.
My personal favorite was, what was it? God, that one with Rupert Grint. It had Bill Nye.
Target?
Wild Targets.
Yeah.
I was happy because it had that girl in it. God, not Olivia Munn?
I don't know.
I'll figure it out later. But, because I just think, whichever girl is in that movie, I think she's just downright beautiful, mostly because of the British accent. But
the science guy, Bill.
Not that Bill Nye. The guy
science
from...
guy.
Let's not talk about
Bill Nye.
Okay, the guy from Underworld.
Okay.
Bill.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like, that movie was just hilarious.
Old tentacle face.
I think even the guy who played Bilbo Baggins is in that movie.
Might be.
Yeah, he steals the gun and it goes off and kills them. And he's like, this is what happens when you don't clean your gun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was a good movie. Then there was one you made me watch called Driving Lessons.
Yep.
With him in it. I could not stand that movie.
Yep.
But then there was one that I found on Netflix that was called Moonwalkers with Ron
Oh,
Perlman.
yeah.
That movie was so stupid.
It's so trippy.
But
like,
it was so funny at the same time.
It's hilarious. Like, it's a literal drug trip.
It's mostly just because Ron Perlman is a great actor. If you want proof, Sons of Anarchy, he does a great job on that show. And then watch something like Hellboy, where he's in like full body makeup. And even go back to his early career. Beauty and the Beast, that TV show. The original one, not the weird one that's on TV today. I don't even know if that's still on. But he does a really good job. And Ron Perlman's a big, imposing dude. And he's done like 1 billion voice roles. He's even on Adventure Time. Like, he's the voice of the Lich on Adventure Time.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, I didn't know that until the other day. But I guess Ron Perlman's almost another actor. I'll watch most of what he does, even if it's stupid. But yeah, everybody's got that actor. And for a lot of people, Johnny Depp is one of those actors. So when you see a movie like The New Pirates, where we talk about what you said earlier, where you could tell Johnny Depp is kind of phoning it in.
He was not invested in the role, and Justin actually brought something up. I think it was Justin. Something that you read
it was something that Cole said when I was talking to him on the phone earlier. He said that he was reading that Johnny Depp didn't actually learn any of his lines for this movie. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, no, it was the fact that it was supposed to be just about the girl.
Oh, that was something I was reading. The girl was actually going to be the main character.
See, honestly, I think it would have been an amazing movie if they had actually done that. I don't think it necessarily would have kept the Pirates of the Caribbean feel, though. I think it definitely would have been a different movie if it focused on her.
I think the problem with that was you would end up in the same kind of idea that, like I said, Indiana Jones 4 had. Is you're wanting to start a spin-off about these younger characters. And, of course, there's the plot hole that I will not let go. That Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow is too young to be who he is in that movie. He should be an old man by this point. With the way they've set the timeline, but that's a whole other problem. Yeah. If you want to just be confused about continuity, watch the X-Men series and watch Pirates of the Caribbean because, oh my god. Anyways.
It's really terrible.
It's just screwy as all get out. But, yeah, so what I thought, I said this earlier, instead of doing the 4th movie, what they should have done was like take the idea of this one with the younger characters of the young Turner and the new girl, and I won't say who she is because that will just kind of ruin the plot. But she's the girl from The Maze Runner. She's a very pretty girl. Looks kind of like a Kristen Stewart stand-in. Yeah, she was in The Maze Runner.
Okay.
She never plays a happy character, come to think of it.
Yeah.
But I think she's a good actress, but I'll remember her name probably after we're done recording.
Yeah.
Like,
one of the main things that I really enjoyed, though, because I know we're kind of being negative, I don't want to try to keep it more positive. I do like that it was a little bit forced at times, but I really do like the way they tried to keep the witty banter in. Well, just the classic trope that's, kind of...
Well, that's what I was saying, is you could kind of feel with this one, they were trying to recreate the original movie.
Yeah, and, that's definitely something that I felt, too.
Yeah, and the whole movie was sold on Jack Sparrow. And,
as always.
I think they could have done that and rebooted the entire series with a new trilogy, with just the new characters. And Barbossa and Jack and Will and all them in the background.
But that's the problem, is that Johnny Depp is not willing to be in the background of anything. Ever.
Yeah, well... In a way, he is in another movie that's in theaters right now, which I haven't seen, but I know he's in it due to a friend telling me about it. He actually makes a cameo in the Mummy movie.
Does he?
I won't say as what, because I want you to see it, because I think you'll get a kick out of it. But I'll tell you about it later.
I did see a funny thing on the internet where Johnny Depp was actually at Disneyland in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride doing his classic.
Going back to that thing I said at the beginning of this little segment here, Johnny Depp, like I said, is one of those actors a lot of people will just invest in.
Yeah.
And that being said, Johnny Depp is a really good actor.
Yeah.
You can tell, but there are also times that you can tell he picks some bad movies.
Yeah.
And like for all of his good acting, he also has done some bad jobs. And I get a lot of hate for this, but the newer Willy Wonka movie.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. Okay. This is just my opinion, and I think part of the internet agrees with me. That is not Johnny Depp playing Willy Wonka. That is Johnny Depp playing Crispin Glover. And if you don't understand that, Crispin Glover was the dad in the first Back to the Future movie. He was also in some horror movies and a few other things. But he was a notoriously weird guy with long hair and acted kind of weirdly childish. Just go look up. He had an interview with David Letterman back in the 80s, I believe, where David Letterman actually gets mad at him and leaves.
Wow. And
the way he acts is very reminiscent of Willy Wonka in that movie. It's and like there's actually scenes where people have gone on the internet and like Photoshop Crispin Glover in, and you cannot tell the difference.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like Johnny Depp just saw that and was like, or maybe they even tried to cast Crispin Glover and he was like, no. So they cast Johnny Depp who can act like that.
Right.
Because another one that bothers me is a movie that you like but I don't like, the new Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Because I don't like how the way he does his character. Now, I understand that's the whole narrative of Alice in Wonderland, right? Craziness. But I'm not an Alice in Wonderland.
I will kind of agree that I'm kind of upset because I didn't get to see Through the Looking Glass.
It's actually on Netflix now.
Is it?
Yeah, so we should watch that after this.
Yeah. But like I like Alice in Wonderland just because I like Alice in Wonderland. I think that's one of, like, I think that's a different thing that, like, rather than specific actors, like, if there's a certain story, kind of story that I love. And Alice in Wonderland is one of those stories, even though it's not really a story, because it's literally just madness. And I think that goes to probably say something about me psychologically, is that I'm very intrigued by madness. I know this just took a weird turn, but...
Well, I think don't take this the wrong way, I think a lot of teenage girls and a lot of girls who kind of are interested in the same thing, even guys too, are interested in that same kind of topic.
It's just, I think it's the psychological element
that,
in general.
And that kind of just artsy, steampunky aesthetic it takes.
Yeah.
The Tim Burton-y world, like, what's that other one? Miss Peregrine's Home for...
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way it looks, you liked it. I don't like the way it looks, but I enjoyed the movie. It's because I don't like that weird gothic style Tim Burton's stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like it even in Batman, and I'm a big Batman fan. Actually, I'm a Robin fan, but that's a whole other story.
And I think that's another thing, is that I really enjoy the Tim Burton gothic style. Like,
yeah. All right.
And I get that that's not for sure.
We're about to wrap up point, so I have a few more questions I want to ask you guys, because I've done most of the rambling in this, but hey, I'm clicking the buttons. One last thing. We just mentioned Tim Burton's gothic style, so is there a director that you prefer, or do you just not really notice the director as much? Like, for example, there are some directors I really like Jon Favreau. I think he's a good director, and he does pretty good action and comedy and drama. Like, the first Iron Man was his, but he also has done some weird movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of his movies are down to earth, and that's just my opinion. So, Justin, is there a particular director you're a fan of?
George Lucas.
George Lucas.
I love all of his work, except maybe the prequels a little bit, but I mean, especially when he was first filming, he really enjoyed everything he did. Like, you could see it just in his production value, everything. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, some of his other little projects he had on the side. But
didn't he also do was it Willow?
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie, but all I know is that all of his early works probably completely influenced my imagination, and he really, back when he enjoyed it and he wasn't getting criticized for every little thing, like back in the prequels, He did a great job, but then he just had to quit because it just started taking its toll.
Well, I actually have a theory as to why a lot of the prequels went the way they did, which is enough for a whole other episode, but I'll summarize it real quick. When you take a director, especially one like Lucas, who has a really good idea, and you bring it up and you praise it as their first film and they're a genius and they're amazing and nothing they can do is wrong. Of course, when you get to movies that they're making later with that saying, I'm a genius mindset that they've been being told for like 30 years,
yeah,
of course they're going to do some bad because they're not going to believe they can do wrong.
Right.
And of course, there's a lot more to this statement I have, but that's just kind of a surmised version of it.
I also find it funny that just the statement that he made about, people inspiring you. There was a whole entire episode of Legends of Tomorrow about that.
Oh, yeah. That was actually a really good episode. Legends of Tomorrow is part of the Arrowverse on the CW. They actually go back in time because Rip Hunter is, spoilers, he's trapped back in time and trying to be a film director, and the guy he's working with is a young George Lucas. And George Lucas gives up on being a director. And they have to, and it actually messes up because, like, Ray Palmer was inspired to become a scientist and do all these crazy things because of Star Wars and Commander Steel. He became a historian because of Indiana Jones. And since those movies never existed, they became
their
idiots.
inspirations.
Yeah.
So they had to go and inspire Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and they're like, George, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to be a director.
It's really great.
It's so goofy, but it's great. It's like they do the same thing with J.R.R. Tolkien in the season finale.
Did they really?
Yeah, because they have to go get his help,
I didn't
and
get
like
to see that
he meets
episode.
them. He's like, you guys are like a fellowship trying to destroy the one item that could ruin the world. He's like, they're like, we can't tell you anymore. It's a long story. He goes, I'm quite fond of long stories.
Foreshadowing.
So great.
That is great. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes. This is about where we're going to call the end of the first episode of Retrocast. As we said at the beginning of the episode, my name is Trent Johnson, a.k.a. Flam. We also have the wonderful, lovely
King Over Prime, or Justin.
Whatever
you want to call
King
me.
Over Prime. Yeah, if I had some pictures, I'd show you a picture of this amazingly sexy Gengar-like man.
Gengar.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling him
I'm
Gengar.
going to eat your dreams.
And, as always, my lovely wife, Andy Johnson, a la disco. Alright, thank you, and thank you for listening to us ramble. We'll have more episodes coming later.
Have a
Peace
blessed
out.